Dear friends, I wanted to dedicate this video for any family pet that may have died in your family. And I found this beautiful reading by Victoria Ryan, When a Family Pet Dies. And this has everything I wanted to say, so instead of me talking, I just will read this for you. When my father's dog died, he sat in his chair as quiet as thought, but a tear slid down his cheek. When our family dog died, my son stayed by her side and cried until she took her last breath. When my neighbor's cat died, she wept uncontrollably, saying, "No one understands." Princess was my best friend since high school. She was with me through my parents' divorce. She never left my side when I was sick. My husband wants me to be strong for the kids, but who will be strong for me? If you are watching this, and you and your family have lost or are close to losing a member of your own family, your pet, but there is no ritual to guide you through your grief, no obituary to tell the world of your sadness, no funeral to ease you into the final separation from your pet. You may feel confused and guilty over difficult end-of-life decisions. You may feel intense sadness but not know how to express it. You may want to ease the pain of your spouse and children, but may wonder who will be strong for you. This is the working your way through. Grieving the death of a family pet is like driving home through a snowstorm. You don't want to make the trip. You don't know how long it will last. You don't know what roads are open to you. You need a map that tells you what direction to take, what dangers lay ahead, and where you can stop if you need help along the way. The suggestions below are such a map. They are compiled from the experiences of pet owners around the world whose families were lost in their grief. Dare to grieve. When a family pet dies, everyone hurts. Your spouse may feel numb or anxious, your children sad and afraid. As an adult, you may be surprised at how deeply you hurt or may be embarrassed for crying over the loss of just an animal. Don't be. Your family's sorrow is real because your love for your pet was real. Your heart doesn't know if you are mourning man or beast. It only knows you are suffering. Grief is a normal response and no one should be ashamed to feel it. Number 2. Communicate. When families grieve, emotions are raw and even the tiniest misunderstanding can blow up into a conflict. The best way to avoid this danger is to communicate early, often, and with everyone. Begin by telling your family, including children who are away from home, as soon as you know that your pet is near death or has died. Give each child opportunities to talk about their feelings and to ask questions, but don't pressure anyone to speak. You can gauge how much information to give and how involved each child should be by their age, maturity, and reaction to what you are saying. It is important to give every family member a chance to say goodbye and, depending upon their age, to be involved in the pet's final hours. Young children, for example, are impressionable and may be upset by seeing their pet in pain or seeing the lifeless body of their pet. Older children, on the other hand, may be empowered by your confidence in them to handle the realities of pet death. Father John Driscoll from Orthodox Church of America says, I do not believe for 1 second that God placed such creatures as our dogs on earth as throwaway creatures that simply cease to exist when they fulfill their purpose and then die. All of creation is part of God's divine plan, and all of creation will be redeemed in Christ Jesus. There was a kids' movie a few years back that proclaimed, all dogs go to heaven. I have no doubt. It is also important to include every family member in decisions regarding the pet's burial or funeral activity. Until one has loved an animal, part of their soul remains unawakened. That's a beautiful thing to say. Until one has loved an animal, part of their soul remains unawakened. Comfort every member of the family, including surviving pets. When a family grieves, there is one sorrow, but many reactions. The extroverts in your family may cry readily and talk openly about their sad feelings. The introverts may keep to themselves and communicate with little more than shrugs and nods. Pieces of their grief into a puzzle they can understand. And the feelers, quote unquote, feelers need extra hugs. One on one time and family time to feel secure again. Extroverts and feelers are often judged to be grieving more than introverts and thinkers, which is not necessarily so. It is important to recognize how each individual grieves and not discount someone's sorrow simply because they aren't crying. Although your family needs to grieve individually, they also need to grieve together as a family. There are several books and internet resources suggesting ways to say goodbye to your pet, such as balloon launches, donations to animal shelters, or making a memory book of the pet. Families rightfully look to their spiritual beliefs for guidance as well. A Hindu family may surround their pet with flowers and press a red spot on their pet's forehead before cremation. A Buddhist family may pray all the way to the veterinarian's office that the spirit of the pet will enter peacefully into reincarnation. Christians may have a backyard service with neighbors and friends. How you say goodbye to your pet isn't as important as providing an opportunity to say goodbye individually and as a family. In the busyness of your grief, don't forget to comfort your surviving pets. They may whimper, refuse to eat, and have no energy. They may roam the house in an endless search or stand at the door waiting for the other pet to return. It is best to keep the surviving pet's schedule as normal as possible, but be sure to give them the extra attention they need by playing, walking, and cuddling them more. Next point, know that adult grief is good for the adult and the family. When it comes to losing a pet, adults are just kids in grown-up bodies. It is foolhardy to think that they handle pet loss easily or to assume that they are without need of comfort. As an adult, you played with your pet, took your pet on errands and on vacations, and cuddled with your pet when you watched television and read the paper. If your children are older or you are a single parent, you may also feel unsafe without your pet. Victoria Ryan says, quote unquote, when you grieve openly, you give your family a remarkable gift, an affirmation that the pet's life mattered, that your family's grief matters. For the rest of their lives, they will draw comfort from the memory of your compassion, your love for your pet, and the example you set in learning to grieve honorably. Quote closed. It is important for your children to see your grief. Seeing your emotions will teach them that every life matters, that people are never too old to care deeply, and that love is always worth the pain of loss. They will learn that men and women can be simultaneously strong and tender, wounded and giving, individual and family. These lessons will help them have the courage to grieve. Next point, believe in the afterlife of your pet. Few things would ease your family's grief more than knowing that you will see your pet again in heaven. No major religion teaches this belief, but every major religion has holy writings that support it. Islam teaches that God will be the judge of people and animals. American Indians believe all creatures go back to their creator. Hindus believe that through reincarnation, animals can evolve to the level of heaven. Muslims believe that in paradise, people will be given everything they have asked for. Dozens of Judeo-Christian scriptures uphold the purposeful place of animals in God's plan of salvation. Jonah and the whale, Jonah 2:10, Noah and the ark, Genesis 6:15, and horses in heaven, Revelation 19:14. God promised us paradise and a place without tears. It goes against logic then not to believe your pet is in heaven. Take heart. You and your family will not always hurt. Your family is one person smaller, but it is stronger because you helped each other grieve. None of you will ever forget your pet, but your memories will be happy ones if you do what your pet taught you. Love one another. Take time to play, show affection, don't hold grudges. You will be happy then, and that is exactly what your pet wanted all along. So Victoria Ryan is a writer, speaker, college instructor and speech language pathologist. She resides with her husband and sons in Hamilton, Ohio, where she founded the Mad Anthony Writers Conference. Thank you, Victoria Ryan, for writing this and sharing this with the rest of the world. And it helped me to think through the losses I have had owning pets in the past. I remember holding a squirrel and crying and going to the shrine room and chanting until I felt that it was enough. So this is common to every human being. Sadness is there when you lose a pet. Your cow, your pet bird, parrot, all these different pets you own, you care for, they don't live with us forever. They die. Although this has, teachings from different traditions, including the Buddhist traditions, as a Buddhist, if you are a Buddhist, since I am a Buddhist monk, we do chant when a pet has died. We hold hands with the family. We say some beautiful things about the pet. We will make a collage with pictures and dedicate at the burial to plant a tree and dedicate that space for your pet as in memory of your pet. But we do believe that we say something nice to them while they are living. We try to tell them that this is going to be your last birth as an animal. Be born as a human being and listen to the teachings of the Buddha and sort of like upgrade your being right now. Don't stay stuck in the animal realm. We try to get their participation for good karma. We do, such as keeping our pets when we listen to the teachings of the Buddha, keeping our pets near us when we chant, when we play a chanting. In all these occasions we have that one wish that our pet, being such good, will be born again, but as a human being. So as a human being you have more capacity and openness and freedom to listen and make wise decisions of your life. That's something the Buddhist believes. More than animals, the humans have the capacity to listen to the teachings and awaken themselves. So we also have the same wish for our pet. So we do wish that they will be born as human beings or heavenly beings and guard us, continue to guard us while also making their way towards final liberation. So may your pets liberate themselves and find Nibbana, freedom of Nibbana, freedom of final liberation. With that wish, I will conclude this video, and thank you for joining me and thank you for watching. May all beings be well and happy.